When you think of the capital of Japan, what immediately springs to mind? Skyscrapers? Modernity? Cutting-edge technology are probably top of mind for most people. Iconic views of Mount Fuji over a sprawling cityscape perhaps? Sumo? Shinto shrines and Buddhist temples? Cherry blossoms? Fireworks? Even cat cafes? Tokyo, the capital of Japan, is all of these things and more, and makes for a fascinating city to visit. But did you know that within the Tokyo Metropolitan Area lies this otherworldly, almost Jurassic Park-like mysterious island? Welcome to the volcanic island of Aogashima. Aogashima is the southernmost island of the Izu archipelago, a chain of islands which extend southward from Tokyo for about 300 kilometers. With its lush greenery and double caldera at its center, Aogashima boasts an incredibly rugged coastline with breathtaking views from hiking trails atop its volcanic landscape. There are natural hot springs on the island, as well as a warm welcome from the 170 or so inhabitants who call Aogashima their home. Curiously, however, since 1878, Aogashima has been a part of the Tokyo Metropolitan Area and has been governed by the Tokyo Metropolitan Government. Along with the other islands that make up the Izu archipelago, Aogashima is administered by government officials who work in these towers, the Tokyo Metropolitan Government buildings in Shinjuku, in one of the most densely inhabited areas of not only central Tokyo, but the world. How is it that these islands, hundreds of kilometers away from the Japanese mainland, ended up being controlled by the Tokyo Metropolitan Government? And how does this situation impact the daily lives of Aogashima Islanders today? Stay connected if you want to find out more. And please like this video and subscribe to the channel if you would like to discover more curious connections around the world. Some of the earliest recordings of human habitation and activity on the island are from the Edo period in Japan, with volcanic activity having been recorded as far back as 1652. Little is known about life on the island before then, though it is believed people have been living there for centuries before this time. Aogashima came under the jurisdiction of Tokyo in 1878, initially as part of Tokyo Prefecture, which later became the Tokyo Metropolitan Government in 1943. To understand the history of Aogashima's connection to Tokyo, we must journey back to Japan's Edo period. During this time, Japan adopted a policy of national isolation known as sakoku, meaning closed country. The aim of this policy was to maintain stability, preserve Japanese culture, and limit foreign influences. This was the period of the shogun, samurai, geisha, kabuki, the tea ceremony, Japanese castles, and also the floating world or ukiyo culture of pleasure and entertainment, all of which still symbolize Japan for many people today. Everything changed with the Meiji Restoration in 1868 as the shogunate was abolished and imperial rule under Emperor Meiji was restored. Japan opened up to the world and underwent transformative reforms aimed at modernizing the country and catching up with Western powers. As part of this shift, Aogashima, along with the other islands of the Izu archipelago, came under the administration of Tokyo instead of the neighboring Shizuoka prefecture. The strategic and defensive location of the Izu Islands played a significant role in this decision. There could not be two places that are more different than Aogashima and central Tokyo. One, an isolated volcanic island with about 170 people that regularly gets cut off from the mainland due to bad weather. The other, one of the world's largest sprawling metropolises with incredible connectivity and transport networks that rival anywhere globally. Falling under the jurisdiction of the Tokyo Metropolitan Government presents unique challenges and opportunities for the island's residents. One visible symbol of Aogashima connection to Tokyo is the presence of Tokyo number plates on cars found on the island. And this brings up another topic pertinent to Aogashima and Tokyo: how to get there. Surprisingly, there are no direct links to the island from the city of Tokyo. To get to Aogashima, you must first get to its larger and more inhabited neighbor, Hachijojima. Options include a long overnight ferry ride from Tokyo's Takeshiba Pier or a 50-minute flight from Tokyo's Haneda Airport. From Hachijojima, you can then take a 2-hour boat ride to Aogashima. Due to unpredictable weather, this sailing is cancelled approximately 50% of the time. Alternatively, there is a fast and very thrilling helicopter ride which has only 9 seats available. As you can see, getting to Aogashima is not for the faint-hearted. When I visited Aogashima, I decided to try all 4 means of transport and was very lucky that everything worked out. I took the overnight ferry from Tokyo and then connected to the helicopter to Aogashima. It's worth noting that helicopter bookings fill up quickly and I could only secure a one-way journey to the island. On my return, I opted for the boat from Aogashima to Hachijojima, which happened to be the first sailing in 8 days. I then spent a few days exploring Hachijojima before flying back to Tokyo. Both islands make for an interesting and adventurous trip from Tokyo. Aogashima is small enough to hike around in one day, with well signposted trails around the island and atop the double caldera. You can explore a natural hot spring sauna and even avail of free, though pretty basic, geothermal cooking facilities on the island. Tourist facilities in general are limited. There are several small guest houses and only one shop. The raw nature and volcanic scenery of Aogashima contrasts somewhat with Hachijojima. Hachijojima is bigger, with a population of more than 8,000 people, and has more shops, restaurants and other tourist facilities. It feels less isolated and wild than Aogashima. There are also breathtaking views from the top of Mount Hachijo Fuji with its own double caldera that rivals that of Aogashima. And Hachijojima boasts its own fascinating history. During the Edo period, it served as a place of exile and imprisonment for political prisoners and criminals, a curious connection to another part of the world, but not one we will have time to go into today. You can find out more by visiting the island's museum and also learn about the unique UNESCO-protected dialect spoken by the locals. Whilst I didn't have the opportunity to explore the other islands of the Izu archipelago, they by all accounts seem certainly worth a visit at some point in the future. So, how does being part of Tokyo actually impact the lives of islanders? The Tokyo Metropolitan Government leverages its economic resources and influence to support the island's economic development by promoting tourism and completing infrastructure projects on the islands. This support contributes to the island's growth, enhancing their overall prosperity. Additionally, the strategic location of the Izu Islands contributes to Japan's defense and security interests. The island's position acts as a natural barrier, making it more challenging for unauthorized vessels to approach Japan's shores undetected. While the choice of Tokyo as the administrative authority may have historical and political underpinnings, it is also vital that Tokyo prioritizes the island's needs and prevents them from being overlooked within a much larger administrative structure. Once you are on the islands, however, apart from the Tokyo number plates, it's hard to imagine you are part of the great metropolis of Tokyo, and you soon adjust to the rhythm of island life. I had only one night on Aogashima, but managed to hike all over the island during the day and get a feel for what it is the island has to offer. However, being at the mercy of unpredictable weather patterns and limited transport schedules, it was soon time for me to leave. My guesthouse confirmed that the boat to Hachijojima was set to sail earlier than usual the next morning, and also that it had not sailed for the previous 8 days. So I decided to take it. As our boat sailed away from Aogashima, and I began my journey back to Tokyo, I had the chance to strike up a conversation with a fellow passenger as we stared back at the imposing scenery before our eyes. He had a fascinating story to share. At first, I thought he was just another tourist like me, but I was surprised to hear that he had made the decision to move from Tokyo to live and work remotely on Aogashima during the COVID-19 crisis. He was actually traveling back to Tokyo to visit his family. It made me think about how the world is changing. I was struck by the transformative power of remote work and the potential impact on isolated communities living in places like Aogashima. This small volcanic island, which could easily be overshadowed by the towering skyscrapers of Tokyo, had perhaps found a way to thrive in this modern digital age.